West 1st Street is in pretty bad shape currently. It is an older design with narrow 11-foot lanes, which is tight for lanes. Right now, the city is working on the environmental assessment phase of the project.
City started a West 1st Street study from Hudson Road to Franklin Street. We're looking at new plans to rebuild that roadway. Part of the project involves a NEPA study, which is National Environmental Policy Act, and we want to prepare environmental assessment with the project. Part of the project involves preparing an environmental assessment document, and that will run through the course of 2014, and we'll take a look at traffic volumes, access management, land use issues, and other traits along the roadway in order to develop an alternative for the design, whether it be a 3-lane, 4-lane, or 5-lane roadway.
The City of Cedar Falls has hired Snyder and Associates to perform the environmental work and do the preliminary designs for the West 1st Street corridor.
We'll be looking at all the properties within the study area. That includes architectural reviews, archaeological reviews, historical reviews. We'll look at delineating wetlands. We'll be looking at the soils, and also doing a phase 1 cultural resource survey through the corridor.
The environmental assessment that NEPA requires is about a year process. During this time, they will meet with property owners and have public informational meetings to get the public's feedback. The next public meeting is scheduled for the spring of 2014. Once the environmental document is finished at the end of 2014, they will move into the design of the roadway.
We'll have our preferred alternative chosen, and then the design will take 6 months, and then we'll have to prepare the right-of-way documents and purchase the right-of-way. We're looking at 2015 as the early point of construction.
The city is paying the initial cost of the study and design for West 1st Street. From that point, the city will have to work with the Department of Transportation to develop funding agreements to finish up the design. This corridor is a DOT roadway, so both the City of Cedar Falls and the DOT have to work together when designing the new road.
Okay, we haven't got into all the alternatives yet, but we will be looking at potentially a 5-lane section through the corridor. We'll look at a 4-lane section through the corridor, in a 3-lane section through the corridor, potentially where we would have auxiliary lanes through the corridor. Auxiliary lanes would be right turn lanes at certain intersections, or a continuous left turn lane through the corridor. Part of the work that we'll be doing will be a market analysis study where we'll be looking at the adjacent properties through the corridor to determine what the kind of best fit, best use of those properties are through the corridor in potential future development of those properties.
Not only will the roadway be designed to accommodate current and future traffic, but also handle storm water flowing through the corridor. At this point in time, there's very little curb and gutter capacity to handle the storm water. They are also hoping to redesign the storm sewer and water system through the corridor. The city is planning to work with utility companies located through the corridor, including CFU, that currently have overhead electric along the south side of the road and poles adjacent to either side of the road. They are looking at burying the overhead electric lines and removing the poles from the corridor. We will keep you updated here on Cedar Falls City News for any developments with this roadway project. Reporting for Cedar Falls City News, I'm Shelby Gappa.